There's a period of time where every franchise that was known for being in 2D would have to make the jump to 3D. And there's a time where every one of them did do that. But for a while, Kirby was the one outlier. But now, it's done it. I've always had a soft spot for the Kirby games. They've always been so nice and relaxing and simple. But I started to notice that with Star Allies, and I started to notice that it's not really anything crazy. It's playing it a little too safe. So I really wanted the next Kirby game to really shake things up. Well, Kirby and the Forgotten Land seemed to be the most ambitious Kirby game simply because of the fact that it's 3D. Again, something of which we have never actually seen in the Kirby franchise. So how is it? Well, let's find out. Hi guys, DPX here, reviewing today Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Now before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell and leave a comment, or I will consume you like Kirby. The core gameplay of Kirby and the Forgotten Land is solid. This is exactly how I would imagine a traditional Kirby game would be in 3D. Because the game is in 3D, when Kirby inhales, you can actually move around while Kirby is inhaling, which is cool, so you can do it in many different directions. On top of that, there is a new mechanic called Mouthful Mode, which is not a mode, but a new mechanic. Kirby can inhale a car, a cone, a vending machine, a metal arc, and a lot of other things, and it just adds a nice new twist to the gameplay. When Kirby inhales a car, there's like a short racing segment. When you inhale a metal arc, you kind of get to play Star Fox 64. Stuff like that is just really cool. Not to mention, the bosses are fun, if a bit easy. Yeah, that's sort of my main issue with this game. It's a bit too easy. I probably died maybe 5 times tops throughout the entire game, and even when I did die, I usually felt like an idiot, because I never really felt like I was ever in really any real danger of dying, if you know what I mean. Aside from that, the core gameplay of Kirby and the Forgotten Land is really nice. Kirby never really had much of a focus on their story or characters, so I'll keep this one brief. Pretty much the story goes as many Waddle Dees have been captured and Kirby has to go around freeing them. That is pretty much the story here. I do like how Waddle Dees are hidden throughout levels, which I think is really cool, especially since you often miss certain Waddle Dees, which gives you a nice incentive to go back and find them. As for the characters, the only one you get to play as is Kirby, and I guess player 2 gets to play as a Waddle Dee. I don't have much else to say on the story and characters really. Kirby isn't really known for its story, but that's fine. This is the other stuff segment where I talk about, well, other stuff worth mentioning, but not much to say on. Kirby and the Forgotten Land looks great. Sure, some of the enemies drop in frames when you're far from them and speed up once you get closer to them, but it didn't bother me that much. The music isn't anything crazy, but pretty nice and catchy and, you know, just fits the mood. Not to mention, DDD keeps transforming. Props to him. I mentioned that the game is very easy, but it's also very short. Kirby games aren't really known for being too long or too difficult, but I was hoping since this game is going in 3D, it would be a little longer. The game's length isn't all that bad, so really, my biggest issue with this game is that it was just over too soon. The environments, the boss fights, the copy abilities, and the mouthful mode are all great. I just would have liked a little more of it. But don't let that deter you, because Kirby and the Forgotten Land is great. In conclusion, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is short and a little too easy, but delightful nonetheless. With beautiful environments and fun new mechanics, my only complaint with this game is that it ended too soon. And while that might imply that the $60 price tag is a bit questionable, it does have enough replay value, so maybe that makes up for it. In the end, I give Kirby and the Forgotten Land an 8.5 out of 10, but ask me how I'm feeling in a couple months, and maybe it's a 9. I wanted to give this a 9, but I felt like, you know, just how quickly I was done with it, that felt a little too high, but for now it's getting an 8.5. And, in my opinion, might be the best Kirby game possibly ever. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you like the game? Do you not like the game? Have you played the game? Have you not played the game? And if you haven't, do you have the game? Do you not have the game? And if you don't have the game, do you want the game? Do you not want the game? Anything about the game, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, or I will consume you. Bye!